8.2% up to 8.6% CPI inflation in September, but 10% still to come. I have all the details and what you need to know right here in the video, so let's get right into it. Alright, some preliminary estimates have been released as far as how much the next CPI inflation reading is going to be in a matter of just days. Now, this is a very highly anticipated number, as this is going to impact millions and millions of Americans right now, as inflation is incredibly high, and we'll need to see, is inflation going down? Has it plateaued, or is it actually going back up? Now, the last report that we got out just a few weeks ago came in at 8.5%, which was actually down about 0.6% from the 9.1% reading that we got the prior month. However, we need to pay attention to see what this reading is going to do to give us a better glimpse as far as, is inflation actually going down on a longer term basis, or was that just a little blip on the screen? However, even though inflation may be going down right now for the short term, a lot of analysts and experts are anticipating this is just a short-term little move lower, and we're likely going to see inflation move significantly higher and even breach double digits. 10+% inflation is what the anticipation is. So even though inflation is going down right now and it's looking really good, and let's hope that it continues to go down much further. However, the anticipation is this is just a short-term thing, and it's likely going to move significantly higher. Now, here's what else is very interesting about this and what we need to watch very closely going forward, because I laid this out for you in the last inflation report just a few weeks ago that we need to pay attention to again with this next report in a matter of just days. Now, the last report that we got a few weeks ago, again, the headline number came in at 8.5%. However, as we dug into the report, we could clearly see that a lot of this lowered inflation from that last report actually came in because of gas prices going down about 7.7% just over 1 month period of time. However, as we dug into the report further, we could still see that food prices went up another 1.3%. So meanwhile, the headline number for inflation went down 0.6%. Mostly because of energy prices, as in gas prices, down 7.7%, but food prices still went up 1.3%. So let's be real right now. What do we buy more of every single month? Do you fill up your car with gas 7 times a month? Probably not. Do you buy food maybe every week, or maybe a couple times a week, or maybe a few times a month? Probably. So let me ask you this much. How much do you spend on food every month versus gas, right? Maybe you spend, let's just say, $100 on gas per month, but maybe you spend $400 per month on food. Again, you can see the problem here, right? Yeah, that's a big problem. When we continue to see food inflation moving higher and higher, that's not a good situation, even though inflation, technically, the headline numbers are going down. So this is another very key factor that we need to take into consideration as we get this next inflation reading, to see, as we look under the hood, yes, maybe the inflation headline number is a little bit lower. Maybe it comes in at 8.2% or 8.1%, or maybe even 8%, or maybe 8.4%, or maybe it's 8.6%. As we look into the numbers, we'll certainly need to look under the hood of this actual reading to see what is really going on with food prices. Are food prices continuously going up? Are rent prices going up? Shelter prices? Again, that was another really big one with the last report as well. I believe the last report showed shelter prices going up another 0.6% as well. Again, we need to look at all this stuff. We need to look at food. It's an essential. Shelter is an essential. Is gas an essential? Let's be real. It's not an essential, right? However, food and shelter are very, very important. Gas is something that we can probably get by with if we don't have it readily available to us, or if we can't buy enough of it each and every month, we can probably figure out something to do. But you can't really do something if you don't have food, and shelter is very, very important as well. So this number is going to be released here in just a matter of days. It's going to be very, very important to pay attention to see what this one does. And also, for those of you out there who are fixed income beneficiaries, Social Security, SSDI, retirement, survivors, SSI, VA, all of you, this is also going to be very important as well, because this next inflation reading that we're going to be getting is going to be for the month of August. Well, guess what? If you've been watching the videos here on the channel for any length of time, you know that the August inflation reading is very, very important. July, August, and September inflation readings are very important because these are the numbers that are going to indicate how much you're going to get on your Social Security cost of living adjustment for next year in 2023. Very, very important, right? So we got one number in the books for the month of July, which is the CPIW, Consumer Price Index for urban wage earners and clerical workers, came in at 9.1%. Got it. We got that one in the books. That's a nice solid number right there. Even though it is a little bit lower than what we've been seeing throughout the course of this year, 9.1% to put in the books on the first number is pretty good. So we got that one locked in. However, we're going to be getting that next number here in a matter of just days with this next CPI reading. And that's going to be the key number that we need to pay attention to, because this will be for August. That'll be 2 pieces of the 3-piece puzzle that we're looking for here. Again, very, very important. So at that point, we will have 2 of the very important pieces. And the next one obviously will be released in mid-October for the month of September. And again, that'll be the last puzzle piece to give us an idea of how much your cost of living adjustment is going to be for 2023. And again, the estimates are all over the board right now. Based on what I'm seeing and what I'm projecting, I'm saying basically anywhere between roughly the 8 to 9% range for the annual cost of living adjustment for Social Security. But again, we'll have to see here what this next reading comes out at. Hopefully, I don't need to adjust that range any further, but just based on the numbers that we're seeing right now, is kind of the range that I'm looking at as far as how much that raise could be to monthly benefits. Let's just hope that this inflation goes down. But at the end of the day, let's also hope that we can maximize that annual cost of living adjustment for the roughly 70 million beneficiaries who are relying on it for their benefits in 2023. A very, very important reading as well. So as you can see here, lately, a few different numbers, headline numbers that have been coming out that are very, very important. Number one is the CPI, what we're talking about right here in this video, and also the non-farm payroll number, which is released the first Friday of every month. And that gives us a reading on how much jobs were created the prior month, what's going on with the job market. Are we losing jobs? Are we gaining jobs? What's the unemployment rate doing? All of these things. So these are probably the 2 most highly anticipated economic numbers that are released, along with the Federal Reserve and their FOMC meetings, which, by the way, we're getting another one of those here in just a few weeks as well. So in about the 3rd week of September, we're going to be getting the next FOMC meeting. So the Free Open Market Committee, basically what it is just a group of a bunch of economists that meet for a day and a half, and they talk about all the details as far as what they want to do with the federal funds rate and the interest rate, and then they come out and they make a key announcement, and it usually adds a ton of volatility to the market. And the chairman of the Federal Reserve has a press conference afterward, Jerome Powell. He comes out and talks about what they're going to do as far as what they decided in their meeting, and he discusses things and answers questions and talks about interest rates and what the economy is doing, all kinds of different things. And again, I'm sure he will be addressing inflation in that speech, as that is the whole point behind these meetings, is to increase the federal funds rate, in other words, interest rates. Therefore, as a result of that, making it more expensive to borrow money, even more expensive. But again, with this next meeting that they're going to be having as well, the whole idea behind raising interest rates is to bring down this inflation. Now, whether it's actually working or not is, anybody's guess at this point. It's still kind of too early to tell, even though back in June and July, they raised interest rates by 75 basis points per meeting. Both of those meetings, they raised interest rates by 75 basis points. And now it's anticipated this next meeting, they're likely going to go another 75 basis points. But we need to wait to see what this next inflation reading is going to come out at before they actually make a final decision on that. And Jerome Powell made that very clear in his speech just a few days ago out of his Jackson Hole speech. So that was in Wyoming just a short time ago as well. So you can see here a lot of weird stuff going on. But either way, this next inflation reading that's going to come out is incredibly important. I mean, I seriously can't even say it strong enough. This is going to be a very, very important report. It's going to indicate so many different factors here going forward. And again, with this rapidly rising inflation, we're seeing the effects on the economy right now. We're starting to see this economy slowing down. It is certainly contracting because the Federal Reserve continues to raise interest rates, and that is manufactured. This is purposeful, right? The reason that they're doing this is to slow down spending. They want us, the consumer, and they want businesses to stop spending as much money, because that's what's stimulating the economy and causing this inflation. So that's the whole purpose behind this, is to make it more expensive to borrow money and more anticipating to save money, which, quick side note, I just got an email from my bank the other day. They said that the interest rate on my account, which, by the way, I have a savings account that I opened like 30 years ago when I was under 10 years old, when I was 6 or 7 or something like that. I opened up a savings account to put the $2 in it that I had. Remember that? I just got an email from them. The interest rate on that is 1.85%. That's crazy. That's craziness right there. You know what I mean? Interest rates on a bank account are actually making it somewhat enticing to actually save a couple dollars these days, versus over the last several years, the interest rate on the savings account has been virtually zero, right? It's been almost nothing. So almost 2%. I mean, we're looking at like a pretty nice savings rate now, right? It's almost actually like a little bit enticing to say, I might actually want to save a little bit of money now, right? And that's exactly what they want us to do. They want us to save money, stop spending money, so that we stop stimulating the economy and slow this economy down because it's too hot, right? Too hot to handle. Anyway, we'll leave that for a different video. Anyway, I hope you're doing well, and I hope this gives you a better perspective on what's going on here with inflation and the importance behind this next CPI in reading that will be coming out in a matter of days. I'll keep you posted on that as I do get more details, and of course, on the day that we get that reading, of course, I'll be right here for you, breaking it all down, letting you know what's going on and how this is so incredibly important and what it means for all of us. Let's hope it goes down, but at the end of the day, kind of hoping that it stays high, honestly, just because I want to make sure that we maximize that raise for fixed income beneficiaries, like so many of you right here on the channel and in the community here who receive these fixed income benefits. So at the same time, we want inflation to go down, but realistically, we kind of want it to stay high for at least another month or two, just so that we can maximize that Social Security raise. And then after September closes out, yeah, let's lower that inflation really, really fast, because once we hit October, honestly, it just doesn't even matter anymore. At that point, the 3 data points are in the books for as far as how much the raise is going to be. And after that, let's just make sure that inflation goes down rapidly. Anyway, I'll keep you posted. I hope this gives you a better perspective on what's going on right now with the CPI inflation and whatever else all these other economic reports are coming out right now and why this is so incredibly important. So again, thanks so much for joining me. Please make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet. Share the video with your friends, family, social media, and go back and check out any of the other thousands and thousands of videos here on the channel. Until next time, have a good one. Enjoy your day. Thanks again, and I'll catch you again later in the next video.